there's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
And there is no resolution in sight for the Walt Disney Company when it comes to Snow White 2025 at the box office. This is exactly why Bob Iger, the Disney CEO, is in pure panic mode over not just the Rachel Zegler backlash, but the entire backlash surrounding this movie in general.
That the producers, far left-wing activists in Hollywood, are turning on her, and Disney has canceled all of Rachel Ziegler's appearances on their media platforms. Kind of tough.
Is Snow White 2025 Disney's biggest flop? A tale that was meant to capture hearts has instead sparked outrage and divided fans like never before? From controversial casting choices to a storyline that many felt betrayed the essence of the classic, this movie has been anything but a fairy tale success. But what's really going on behind the scenes? Why has Disney, a company once known for its magical stories, found itself in such a deep crisis? Let's start with the controversy that ignited it all. Rachel Ziegler. The young actress was cast as Snow White, but it's her comments about the original Snow White that set off a firestorm. Ziegler openly criticized the iconic love story in the 1937 classic, calling the prince irrelevant.
And just how once trusted critics that shilled for the Disney Company all the time, even they are beginning to turn their back against them. That's even if you look at the IMDB rating score, that's when you really know how terrible this movie is and how it really hit rock bottom.
Fans who had grown up with the fairy tale weren't too happy about this. But that wasn't the only thing. The 2025 film chose to highlight a romance that many fans saw as a stalkerish relationship. Weird? Yes. Problematic? Absolutely. The outrage was immediate. Ziegler's viral comments did not sit well with a massive portion of Disney's audience. Social media erupted, and the backlash was loud, relentless, and unforgiving. Disney had just made a major misstep, and the storm wouldn't die down. Fast forward to Disney's panic mode. The company, under the leadership of CEO Bob Iger, quickly realized they had a PR disaster on their hands. The initial release of Snow White was a flop. Critics tore into it.
Deepening the divide.
That despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them,
she's a good actress,
that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Wow. The ego on this girl is ridiculous. Wow.
Fans were livid, and test screenings left much to be desired. Disney pulled the emergency reset button, deciding to completely reboot the film. This wasn't just a minor tweak. It was a full-blown course correction. That means Rachel Ziegler's version of Snow White is getting erased from Disney's future plans. No fanfare, no apology, just silence. The movie's future, or lack thereof, became crystal clear. Now scrambling to save face, decided to start fresh with a new direction. But the question remains, can they fix what's broken?
After one hell of a PR tour, Disney's live-action Snow White is finally, I know, you were wondering.
And here's where it gets interesting. Disney is betting on a return to the magically poorly. This new reboot will stick closely to the 1937 classic that fans know and love. Classic characters, iconic songs, and that dreamy fairy tale feel will return, leaving behind the woke agenda that alienated so many.
And you have parents looking at Disney being like, what are you doing, guys? This is supposed to be a place where magic happens, and all you're doing is indoctrinating kids, and you're having this person be the poster child of the Democratic Party. Look no further than what Disney is doing with their woke, DEI, feminist agenda.
After all the mistakes made with the original film, Disney is hoping this reboot will win back the trust they've lost. It's a gamble, but for Disney, this may be their only shot at redemption. One of the biggest complaints about the original Snow White was Disney's push for a modern, progressive story that many saw as unnecessary.
She destroyed hundreds of millions of dollars worth of IP for Disney, but she also has destroyed her career and the careers of anybody who worked on the movie.
The decision to ditch the dwarves in favor of CGI characters was another massive point of contention. Fans didn't want the classic characters altered for the sake of political correctness. It wasn't just the fans who were upset. Merchandise sales plummeted, with shelves stocked full of unsold Snow White toys. Disney faced a brutal financial blow, and insiders knew they couldn't afford another failure.
Tell me if this is attractive to you.
Like, imagine you invested into her being the face of the movie and she's the main character and she's trying to promote the movie. Would this make you want to go watch the movie when she's starring in it and she's the main character?
Now, with the old Snow White firmly in the rearview mirror, Disney is on the lookout for a new face to represent the iconic character. Insiders say they're seeking someone who embodies the old-school Hollywood charm, the elegance, the warmth, and yes, the vocal chops to bring Snow White back to life. But this time, there will be no more rogue interviews, no off-script moments.
The producers, far left-wing activists in Hollywood, are turning on her, and Disney has canceled all of Rachel Ziegler's appearances on their media platforms. Kind of tough.
Disney is doubling down on professionalism, hoping to avoid the drama that overshadowed the first attempt. And it's not just about casting. Disney is implementing stricter media training for all involved, ensuring everyone is on the same page. After all, the last thing they want is another scandal stealing the spotlight. It's in a bold move.
You could look at the fact that she has been sabotaging this film for years at this point, all in this sort of pursuit of entitlement.
Disney has brought in a fresh team of creatives to lead this reboot. Sources say the new screenwriter knows how to blend heartfelt emotion with solid character arcs. Emotion with solid character arcs, exactly what was missing from the first version. And while the director is still under wraps, insiders say they're experienced in both animation and live-action hits. Disney is banking on this duo to deliver a Snow White that is rich in depth, heart, and global appeal.
We'll still offend the dwarves, but we'll CGI dwarves. So we'll guarantee no employment for little people while getting rid of this other component that warranted CGI. It was the worst decision they could possibly make.
This new Snow White won't just be a copy of the 1937 classic. While staying true to the original, there will be modern updates to make it relevant for today's audience. Expect fan-favorite forest animals to make a return, with a mix of CGI and practical effects to bring them to life.
Every way that Disney changed the story, it changed it for the worse.
And yes, the music is making a comeback, with new songs blending seamlessly with classics like Someday My Prince Will Come and Hi Ho. Disney is determined to make this reboot an emotional journey. For both old fans and new generations, this isn't just about revisiting the past, it's about respecting it while moving forward. Disney's Snow White 2025 isn't just a movie, it's a mission.
It's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about
she's gonna die.
true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can.
After a disastrous first attempt, the studio has one last chance to prove they can still deliver the magic that made them a household name. With pre-production set for late 2025 and a release in 2027, Disney is putting everything on the line. From casting to costumes, every detail is under intense scrutiny. Can Disney pull off this comeback?
Disney responded by scaling back the premiere. I don't know that anyone really showed up to the premiere. The Rotten Tomatoes reviews are looking pretty bad, and they did, it seems like they tried to tweak a few things, but this movie is bad.
Will they restore the magic fans expect? Or will they fall further into irrelevance? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the stakes have never been higher.
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them,